Our guest today is Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu from African American Images in Chicago. You can reach him at AfricanAmericanImages.com. Dr. Kunjufu, are some women unknowingly feminizing their boys?
Well, we have these two extremes. First of all, it's good to hear your voice and good to hear George as well.
Likewise.
Same.
But we have these two extremes. On the one hand, we have some boys who emulate being bullies and gang members because their fathers are not there. So they rely on gang members to give them a sense of masculinity. And then on the other hand, we have young men who emulate their mothers and become very feminine. So we have these two extremes fighting against one another.
What about the idea, Nisa Muhammad said this on the show last week, she said that we're going too far in celebrating single motherhood in the black community. That's not celebrated anyplace else but in our communities.
Well, I think that's an excellent point. I mean, on the one hand, we do have this severe issue that that 72% of our children do not have their fathers in the home, and we have to do everything we can to commend black women. But at the same time, as the Bible says, you will know them by their fruit. And if we see that mothers are raising their girls different from their boys, that the girls are graduating at a greater level, are much more responsible, are much more mature, then it means that mothers have got to admit that they cannot raise their sons by themselves, and they need their brother, their uncle, their father, a mentoring program, rites of passage, the church. Their boy needs to see a man in front of them on a regular basis. I mean, Mike and George, you get so basic. I mean, a boy would not know how to urinate if he does not see a man do it first.
If you just tuned in, we're talking to Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu, Director of African American Images in Chicago. Check out his book, There's Nothing Wrong with Black Students. Dr. Kunjufu, I wanted to address the issue of women raising their girls differently than their boys.
If you really want to look at this scenario, you have a family, a mother who gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. They both scored, let's say, 1,400 on the SAT. They both got accepted into college, and yet she graduates and he doesn't. I think one of the major reasons for that, besides the fact that he's not as responsible as the daughter, and that's because of the way the mother reared her, but the other thing is that he knows that he can return back home to her and spend the next 5, 10, 15 years with her. I don't think the daughter feels she could stay in her mother's house.
Or wants to, because you got that woman-on-woman thing going on.
Yeah, you got two women now. Yeah,
exactly. You have two women. You have two adult women. But if the mother's husband didn't stay, then she has this nice 21 to 30-year-old young man who can empty the garbage, can do some things around the house,
protect her,
and they can do this for the next 20 or 30 years.
Wow, and it's being done too. I unfortunately I know of stories that have been told to me by women by men who are in their 30s and 40s who are still at home, and there's no motivation for them to get out. What do mothers need to be doing better? Because like you said, we're not trying to put down mothers. We're just telling them they need to use a different technique in raising their boys and their daughters.
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is buy this book titled Raising Black Boys. And they need to have a checklist. We need to make sure you know how to cook, sew, iron, clean, do all the things in and around the house so that on your 18th birthday, you know how to take care of yourself. Because on your 18th birthday, you have to leave.